For all things Halloween, this is hauntformer, and this is what happens when you leave YouTube for 5 frickin' minutes. I mean 3 months, but it doesn't change the fact, my friends, that a man leaves YouTube to work on some personal matters, some personal affairs, and they drop the frickin' motherload. And by the frickin' motherload, I really mean the Home Depot for 2025 animatronics and decorations. Now, Home Depot has been on the top of their game for the last several years. They've been on top of everybody's game, dunking on Spirit Halloween, which is very unfortunate. Spirit Halloween was always the tried and true kind of litmus test of quality in the world of retail Halloween decorations. Not like there was much competition. Party City stepped in there. They put up their dukes. Put up your dukes. Put up your dukes. And they tried. They went to town at them. And, well, we sort of know how that story kind of happened. What? I'm sorry, Party City. You're up there with Kmart and Big Lots. Anyway, so Home Depot and Spirit have been kind of the two front runners of the Halloween world. But here's a little tough love for you, Home Depot. You gotta be careful, because when you're at the top, that's when something happens. That's when some little domino gets ticked. Suddenly, you're in for a storm. And I fear, I don't promise this, and I hope and pray it doesn't happen, but there was one domino that was knocked over recently that could change everything. And his name is Lance Allen. Lance, love you. It's a real shame when somebody who's brought a lot of quality to the table is now stepping back. Lance is moving to a different department in Home Depot, and God bless him for it, and I hope they give him a big fat check of a raise. However, that does mean the Halloween world is going into different hands, and I'm sure very capable hands, but anytime there's a change of management and things, you can't help but be a little bit skeptical. And this lineup from Home Depot this year is good. It's good. I don't think it's as solid as the last two, maybe, if memory serves, but I think it's very fine. I worry that they might lean into some of the trends they have on display this year in the future, and the biggest one is, as funny as it sounds, if you were ever a part of those Home Depot little sneak peek preview things, they would always talk about innovation. This is an innovative product. Innovation. This is an innovative product. And this year, not seeing a lot of innovation. Now, you could argue that Home Depot is so far ahead with innovation that they're trying to catch up to themselves, right? Like, they're trying to just stick with what they already got going, you know? The servos really changed the game. The 12-footers, boom, 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 they got them. They're solid. This year, a little more reserved from Home Depot. Nothing too wild in terms of new tech. That's okay, but I worry. Anywho, I want to give a big old thank you to LMJ Halloween. LMJ, keep being you, buddy. Keep being you. Has 2.75k subscribers. Let's make that a cool 3. I think we can at least get that. Come on, I think we have that in us. This video has 52,000 views, so you probably have watched it. That's what I'm getting at. You probably have seen it. Of course, LMJ has a disclaimer. This footage of Home Depot's 2025 Halloween lineup was casually captured at an event open to attendees. No confidentiality agreements or NDAs were signed. Good. Our watermark is for branding purposes only, as you should. You gotta rep your brand, and I will be repping the LMJ brand as well. And we do not claim ownership of any products displayed. Content is shared for commentary, hello, and entertainment, hi, hopefully, purposes. Well, there you go. And by the way, LMJ, may I add that your logo is spookily fantastic. Very nice stuff. Let's jump into the products. Now, you're going to notice right out of the gate that there is a split between the Halloween and Halloween's this way, and the Christmas, okay? So there is a distinction there. Christmas stuff, not going to be talking about it in this video. Some of it's pretty cool. They got a big snowman. They have a Grinch that's kind of Uncanny Valley. It's sort of their typical thing. There's an Olaf. I digress. Christmas is not the point of this channel, but just to let you know, because if you like Halloween, you probably like Christmas. And speaking of Christmas, the first thing is kind of Christmas. Actually, it's very Christmas. And it is this thing. This snowman. Which I'm going to let the video play and speak for itself, but I have some words of my own.
Born from a dark blizzard, I now carry that storm wherever I go. Once the snow falls, there's no escape. You will be buried in the cold, icy earth.
Okay. Let's talk about the snowman, because this is an exciting one. But I would be remiss if I didn't mention that I'm a little disappointed at the same time. Now, you're going to go, hauntformer, you're too critical about things. Yeah, that's kind of... I'm going to talk about ways that they can improve, because criticism only helps products and companies and everything improve. Criticism is important. First of all, kudos to Home Depot for making original stuff. Looking at somebody. Looking at you.
The ovens, and winter will last.
Whoa. I think my computer's possessed. I did not touch that mouse. Hands up in the chat. Did you get that? Was an unfriended reference or whatever. Okay, anyway. Spirit, I love you. I really, really do. However, last few years been very clown heavy, and you know what I think about the clowns. Still, Spirit does offer some really nice stuff. And I think where Spirit can shine really well is with their licensed characters, because they could really get into some unique horror properties that Home Depot probably wouldn't touch. At least as of now. We'll see what happens. However, fans have wanted to see a killer snowman for quite some time, and it's nice that Home Depot finally delivered. From the base up to the neck, I actually think this is a really neat sculpt. I like that there are custom hands and a custom base for it. It looks like a snowman. What I'm not crazy about is the face. The hat's fine, the scarf's cool, whatever. The face just looks like those pumpkins from CVS, and it just kind of ticks me off that we were so close to perfection. And I also don't like how it talks. I know I'm in the minority here when I don't want the prop to be given a monologue about its backstory, about how its parents went through a divorce and stuff, but I don't want that in my prop. I want a creepy snowman, and what makes snowmen creepy is that they are uncanny, that they look human, that they have those cold eyes and the little pipe. And just imagine a real snowman just looking right at you. Terrifying. And they've done them at Trans World, and they do them well. But for whatever reason, they have to just McDonald's-ify everything in the Halloween world and make it so much lamer than it could have been. I know ultimately this is a decoration for families to decorate their house with. But when you break it down, people... the majority of people are not going to be putting this out for Christmas. Will they put it out for Halloween? I don't know. It's for the very niche buyer. And if they are niche enough to buy an evil snowman, at least give us a really freaking scary looking snowman. This is just a little tame. I will withhold a lot of my judgments because I respect the originality of it. I like overall the sculpt. I think it's a nice idea. I'm glad it exists in the world. I'm glad Home Depot's at least doing the Scary Christmas Spirit Halloween. What are you doing? But I had to get on my soapbox for a second there. The hands are very nice, though. The hands are very nice. And the base, it's cool. It's cool. You can see, though, how with a little modification, it could be one of the best products of the year. And I guess by default, it kind of is, because a lot of things have been kind of doo-doo feces this year. But it helps. Oh, those are kind of cool. I didn't notice those before. Like a witch trio. Okay, in seriousness, I like the idea of this, like a pumpkin guy with, I think those are supposed to be candy corn teeth and a little top hat. I like the presentation, but it comes across as really hokey.
I sense the presence of...
And one thing, Home Depot really hit home last year that their Victorian vampire had this really authentic fabric for the clothes, and this kind of looks like a garbage bag.
Unsuspecting souls.
It also doesn't move its mouth. It kind of standing like a pimp, you know, with the cane. It's not the worst thing ever, really, but it just seems... I put everything in scale with what I know Home Depot can do. Like, they made THD and they made Captain Cuts and some of the best things we've ever seen. So to get this, it just feels like a step backwards to me. Whoa.
Step closer and embrace the shadows that dwell within.
Keep yapping, baby.
Your fate is sealed, for you have trespassed into my domain.
Okay, get to the ogre. Yes! This is my favorite thing of the year. Now, a few years ago, a younger Mac would have gone, that's kind of cringe. Because younger Mac was not a fan of mythical stuff as much. You know, I wasn't into the medieval thing as much. I wasn't into ogres and trolls and gnomes and all that stuff. But I've really softened up to all of that over the last few years. Love the movie Troll Hunter. I love me some mythical legends of things. I think it's my love of cryptids and cryptozoology and aliens and stuff. It's paved the way for me to get to where I am now, where I embrace all weird creatures. But you take that aside, even if you don't like ogres and trolls and that kind of thing, this is just a really neat looking character and very original. Like, it's got its little belly hanging out. It's got the underbite, like a bulldog. Now, I was calling out the other ones for it, so I'll call out the ogre a little bit. Not crazy about the phrases. Not crazy about that the eyes change color. But I think this one, more than the other two, its presentation is so darn cool that I can look past my gripes. Because it's a great product. And it looks really big. So that's exciting. Yep. It's cool. And now we go from greatness. Thing is, these witches they're whatever. I think we've seen what Home Depot can do with a witch when they really put their mind to it. This sort of seems like they're phoning it in. I like that it's holding a possum. That's fun.
It appears they'll carry the ingredients we lack. Indeed, sister. And I
more interesting than the witches themselves is the tree in the background. They changed the face to be sad. The tree, I was a bit of a poo-pooer last year with the tree, but I have to take my words back because my friend Jaden got it for his haunt, and it's a very impressive prop. It's got a great stature. It's got a solid sculpt. It's very nice. Home Depot did great with the tree, so to see a new version is nice if they're keeping this character around. These witches are very lame.
What a most fortunate coincidence for us.
Also, that witch is doing a strange motion with the broomstick. I am glad that my face is sort of covering it up. And next we have, well, okay, so let's talk about this giant scarecrow. I believe this sucker is 15 feet tall. It's 3 feet taller than the skeleton. That is insane. And it looks really nice. Again, not crazy about the face. It looks a little bit like those pumpkins from CVS. However, presentation is very strong. I love the fingers. I like the outfit. It's very cool, and the stature is what I really think sells it. This is a nice touch. Okay, this was very exciting. I saw this the day after St. Patrick's Day, March 18th is when I first saw this prop. So obviously I was getting hyped. You know me, I like all the holidays. So to see a leprechaun, I love St. Patrick's Day. I'm part Irish. Eating it up, as I just talked about with the ogre. I like me the mythical creatures. Leprechauns are no exception. I would be remiss if I didn't talk about a few gripes with it, despite my overall love that we have a leprechaun. My main gripe is this beard. I don't know if this is just because of the prototype or what, but the beard is not gelling with the face. It looks very phony. Looks like when your uncle dresses up like Santa and has the very obvious fake beard. I don't like that on this leprechaun. But again, I can sort of look the other way just because we have a leprechaun. I also do sort of wish that this character came with a pot of gold. Again, another thing that I can look past. I like that it has the axe or the hatchet because, you know, it's an evil leprechaun. But it would have been nice to have a pot of gold with it as well. Sort of like their cauldrons, but miniature. And perhaps if this line of mythical characters continues, we will get a pot of gold. Leave in the comments what other mythical creatures do you think Home Depot should make. I think a unicorn is on the board. I think a Bigfoot is on the board. Come on. And Loch Ness Monster would be sick. Really hoping for some American cryptids as much as I love these kind of folklorish characters. Specifically European characters are nice too. And he also has a case of the SVI funnies because he can't stop laughing. There's the wolf, which we saw the wolf from last year, which I own this prop and I can't sing its praises any higher. It's a great animatronic. It's big. It's creepy looking. It is eye-catching. It's solid. Let's fast forward a little bit. I noticed the pig butcher guy. There might be a point in this video actually where they go inside and show the pig butcher guy a little better. Maybe not, but there is this. Nope. Sorry. Okay. There's this pig butcher guy. Looks similar to Spirit's butcher. It has the same mech as that straw guy that pointed with his finger. He is okay. The face looks a little cartoony to me. It also lacks any blood or anything. Look, Halloween companies. I'm talking to all of you here. If you're going to make a crazy butcher, you gotta put blood on it. I don't care what you're going to say about the kids, but the children love the books. I don't care. It's a butcher. Butchers get blood on them. Even a normal butcher, but especially an evil butcher. There's no excuse why there's no blood on this. That's ridiculous. Okay, we saw the wolf. There's the tall guy. Here's this, crow, plague doctor-esque character.
Whisper my name and empower me with the forces of darkness.
Voice is really weird on it. I like the feathers on it. It's like a boa, almost. But it's cool. I see what they're doing with the character. It just doesn't fully stick the landing for me.
The echoes of the past linger like ghosts. I command the shadows to dance.
But again, Home Depot, they've got the originality down. They're doing what they know works, which is you throw a bunch of different darts at the board and you see what sticks. Just think in the last few years from Home Depot, okay? We've gotten a leprechaun. We've gotten a snowman. We got a robot, a pirate. Just those alone. I could go on. What are we doing, everybody else? What are we doing? We're making a clown and it farts.
Step lightly, for the coal beneath your feet holds.
Okay, I think they do go inside here in the crypt. This guy. Okay, that you notice there's a Bride of Chucky poster on the wall. That's a surprise tool, though. Help us later. And look, a rabbit. There is a giant bunny rabbit. They're throwing in all the holidays. Get creepy Cupid and Baby New Year in here for good measure. And a killer pilgrim. Okay, despite what I say about the clowns, look at this. Look at this. It's a slightly lame jump scare, but it's cool. It's different, and it kind of subverts your expectations because you're looking at the box, and boom, he hits you where you least expect it.
Didn't expect that one.
No, didn't. Honestly, I didn't. That's a fun prop. That's fun, and the blacklight adds to it. Here you have a few of these little zombie idiots that look like they're out of a Looney Tune cartoon. Now we're on. Okay, so last year they dropped the Chucky. Everybody loved the Chucky, and there were a couple people who were actually commissioning that they would alter that Chucky into the scarred Chucky. I've never been a fan of this. Well, I've never been a huge fan of scarred Chucky. I like all Chuckies, but if I had to pick, it's clearly going to be the default original skin Chucky. The scarred one worked for the context of the early 2000s with Bride and Seed of Chucky, but it was never my favorite look of the character. I am really glad that we got a Tiffany. I think that's great. I like Tiffany. Will we eventually get a Glenn? Probably not, but, you know, never say never.
Were you born with that nice super glued onto your hand or what?
They did add some funky, weird music in the background that I'm not particularly fond of, but it's whatever. And there's a Chucky.
Get off my knife.
And he's winking, which is interesting. I don't know if it's just that model. But, yeah, they're solid. They're solid. I don't think that, you know, they're not as wow factor anymore that we already got Chucky last year. Again, what I'm saying is they're just sticking with something tried and true, and I hope in the background they're brewing some kind of innovative technology for 2020. What year is it? 2026 would be next year. Got some skeletons.
You. Yes, you. Come over here.
Here's one. Okay, this one is one you can connect to your Bluetooth, and it's sort of like Grim, but a little more customizable.
Customize all of that and more, even recording your own dialogue. But if you don't want to be a voice
voice actor?
Cool.
That's fine too. I come with pre-recorded messages. You can choose my motion, lighting, eyes, and voice.
Pretty cool. I really like that they have all the companies I can give credit for this. They've made Halloween more customizable, which I respect and appreciate, because let the creativity flow. Let the creativity flow. It's Halloween.
So, what are you waiting for? Take me home today.
Alright. Solid. This is a weird one. First of all, if you remember, I did a Nightmare Fuel episode on Singing Sam the Gorilla Man. Kind of looks like him. He sort of has a weird face. And in theory, I want to love this because it's a voodoo doctor guy, but the execution is odd at best.
Welcome. Take a seat and relax, won't ya? I promise I'll give you the closest shave of your life.
Oh, he's not I'm sorry, he's not really a voodoo doctor. He's a barber? I don't know where I got voodoo doctor from. Voodoo doctor would be nice, but this is a barber with blades, and this is one of clearly their more affordable economic props. If it's 100 or less or whatever, cool. The mouth doesn't move or anything like that. It has the one motion. It's not super offensive, but it could have been a really neat character, and it's kind of just whatever.
Even feel a thing. Just a quick slice, and off it goes. If a full shave is not what you're after, I'll give that magnificent mane.
Oh, here's the pig guy. Right behind Dean, the deathologist.
You're stuffing your face with ham, roast pork, and bacon. Now it's my turn to carve a slice off you. Think you can outrun me, huh? The pigs couldn't, and neither will you. Time to see how you taste.
I don't know. I don't know how I'm feeling about him. He's not my favorite.
Traveler, for these woods hold secrets.
Here's another servo witch. This one has LCD eyes.
Listen to their words, for they may be your last. The very trees of this witchwood are sentient.
The lighting that they have on her is very solid. It really brings out a lot to the
You do
character.
well to heed their warning, for your own sake.
Okay, alright. And you saw there was a little girl on a tricycle there. Not super exciting. This, however, is very exciting. This is a full-sized, dare I say life-sized, maybe a little small if you're, you know, a shark aficionado. This is a giant shark, okay? I don't know if it does anything. Does it really have to, though? No, it's a giant shark, okay? That is freaking great. Good job, Home Depot. Yet again, add shark to the list of original things. And then they literally have, what's his name from Jaws. They literally, they're pulling out all the stops.
But I've seen them, lad. The ones that lurk beneath the waves. They say there's a monster out there.
And there's a ship. There's a ship with a mermaid on the front of it and a pirate skeleton. And if you look up top, there's like a catacomb-looking archway on top of the house.
Got a taste for fishermen like
Right up
me.
there. You see that? Oh, it's not, I said catacombs. That was last year. This is like, it's a thing of like souls, like faces, like Freddy Krueger with the pizza thing.
Afraid. No, I faced worse. It's just a matter of time till he comes for me. And when he does, I'll be ready.
Shark's really sick, though. I'm very happy about that. That's going to be a good seller. And there's the pirate ship. I don't even need the skeleton pirate, frankly. The ship with the mast with the mermaid is fine enough. Could have been a ghost ship. That was cool, too. There was a tombstone or headstone with plants on it, it looked like. Death is but a passing through a door that opens to a new life, and it's got some plants on it. Very nice. Then we have our boy, the Grim Reaper.
I have been looking everywhere for you.
Sort of looks like a guy that would be at CVS, you know. I joke with CVS, but they're just kind of a default sort of basic store that isn't really doing anything crazy. I do like the scroll in its hand. The death list. I don't know why he has to jump scare us with the list.
The journey will be so quick, you won't even realize you're...
But okay. This is the strangest thing to me, because it's half a really cool, innovative character. This is the one thing they have that I could say is innovative. Yet I feel like they stopped halfway, because you can see this whole motor thing. They don't even bother covering it up. I don't know if this is meant to be hidden by fog, or like a fog swamp sort of deal, like a laser swamp, which I think is the idea, but it is nevertheless an odd presentation for what ultimately is a pretty cool character. I also sort of wish it wasn't a skeleton. I almost wish it was some kind of sea monster thing, like a creature from the Black Lagoon-ish sort of gill man. And then I presume it spits fog. Or maybe it fogs out of it. Maybe that's the idea. I don't really know, but that's the innovation for this year. But hey, I give Home Depot major props for just attempting anything different.
Welcome.
Okay, well, we saw you.
All this pulling and shoving
Okay, this is
will
a
break my back.
this is a grave digger guy, and I think it gets the award for oddest jump scare I've ever seen. Because, okay, first of all, it's not a terrible idea, but the execution is really weird. How is that going to scare people? It's on the ground. I don't fully see that working out as they expect it to.
Uh-oh, looks like we got a live one.
It's not a bad
Or 50
idea.
years old, or back in the ground you go.
And I'm not really crazy about the face design. But he's okay.
Guys, this is the spot for the best brains.
Well, I'd rather eat rats for dinner.
I wasn't crazy about the clown one, and even though I like zombies, I also don't care for the zombie one. It might be cute if you have, like, young kids around, but for me, it doesn't really suit my needs.
Why not both? Rats for an appetizer, and
These remind me of, like, the Plants vs. Zombies, which I always thought could have been an interesting prop. And I'm going to throw another one out that, you know, maybe it's just because it's topical at the moment, but if they made a Minecraft zombie animatronic, I feel like it would sell like hotcakes this year. Just saying.
the main course, even if it is on the lower grade side. Whatever. I'm hungry. Let's eat.
Is that a dog in prison inmate garb? Okay. Okay, so this is another big one for this year. This is probably the last big one of this video, I think. This is the Bride of Frankenstein. Now, we knew last year after the Frankenstein, which is one of the better licensed props of recent memory, a very innovative prop, that they were going to make more monsters. We knew that. My money was on the Mummy. I heard a rumor that there was a creature from the Black Lagoon. I don't know if that's true. And they're hiding it from us like they did Chucky last year. I don't know. But the one we currently got is the Bride. I personally like it. I like it. I do. There have been some people that have complained it's a little plain. Fair. Mostly in the face, which is fair. The Bride has always been a plain character. And the thing is, the Bride has never been a top tier monster. Because if you know the context of this character, first of all, in the book, the Bride's body is destroyed before the doctor ever makes it, before Frankenstein ever finishes the monster. Secondly, if you've seen the movie, which is one of the best Universal monster movies, she's in it for the last 5 minutes and then commits self-die. Great scene between her and the monster, but she's not really a pivotal part of even the movie Bride of Frankenstein. It's more of a Frankenstein 2 than anything else. Still, it's a really nice character. The bride's become iconic in her own right because of her hair and because of her scream and just the iconography of the Universal monsters. I would have liked Invisible Man or the Mummy or the Gill Man more, but it's cool that we're getting... Hopefully we'll just get all of them, you know? I hope that will eventually be the case. It's solid. The music's nice, too. I'm not crazy about the light-up eyes, though. That's the one thing I can criticize. I would have rather her had light-up, like, things in her hair, you know? Some kind of little, like, electric thing shooting through her hair would have been more in character. Because also, the Frankenstein doesn't have light-up eyes, so... And I think that's just about it. I want to thank, yet again, LMJ Halloween for getting all this. It is always appreciated. And I want to know in the comments, what do you think about the Home Depot's 2025 lineup? The way I kind of see it, they either have stuff that's absolutely awesome or just mid. There's not really an in-between. I wouldn't say any of this is, like, awful, like I hate it. It's just either like, whoa, that's it. You know, very extreme. But there could be some things that we're not seeing yet. Home Depot does this kind of thing on purpose. They're showing us the cards they want us to see. You know what I mean? So the future of Home Depot is up in the air at this point. But I appreciate each and every one of you watching this video. If you like the different format, the more casual kind of way we're doing this, let me know in the comments below. I want to hear from you. And remember, for all things Halloween, this is Hauntformer.